Okay, so what is the most entertaining part of a football game? Well, let me answer that question for you immediately. It's the choke. We all love when it happens and hate when it happens to our own team. And most chokes throughout NFL history are about as memorable as they can be, but there are a few throughout the entirety of the game's history that seem to slip through our memory banks. So in this video, I thought we'd go over a few of the worst NFL choke jobs ever that you probably forgot about. Anyway, let's start right away with the 2014 AFC wildcard game, which involved the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Indianapolis Colts. And what a game this was, as going into the game, the Chiefs had just come off a 2-win season the year prior and now found themselves at an 11-5 record in the playoffs. And even crazier than that, the Chiefs had lost 7 straight playoff games going into this one, so the gods just weren't in their favor. So after acquiring Alex Smith in a trade with the 49ers, the Chiefs went into the playoffs and looked like they belonged, as they jumped out on top of the Colts early, taking a 10-7 lead at the end of the first quarter. However, during the course of this game, the Chiefs just repeatedly took right jab after left jab, as on the first drive, their star running back Jamal Charles suffered a concussion and was ruled out for the game. And as they piled on the points, they also lost wide receiver Donnie Avery, who caught a 79-yard touchdown to a concussion. So, artificial turf 2, Chiefs 0. But the Colts didn't want to go down at the end of the first half without a fight, as they at least gave their Hall of Fame running back Trent Richardson one carry, who fumbled, which led to a Chiefs touchdown. And then right before the half, the Colts tried to at least get some points on the board, and then Andrew Luck threw a pick. So the third quarter began down by 3 scores, and the Colts were ready to change the game script, and Andrew Luck threw another interception. The Chiefs capitalized and scored, giving them a lead of 38-10. Hold on, let me crunch some numbers here, and that is a 28-point lead. All of a sudden, the ground started shaking, winds were coming from every direction, and the football gods were activated. The Kansas City Chiefs had just triggered the most cursed number in football. But hey, the Colts couldn't get anything going in the slightest, as after getting the ball back, Andrew Luck threw another interception. However, Alex Smith and the rest of the Chiefs offense were being held at gunpoint by some greater force, and they couldn't muster a single first down to save their lives. And you know, the football gods have some sort of cruel enjoyment in seeing teams come so close to fixing all of their problems. As the Chiefs somehow broke the curse for a drive, maybe sacrificing a teammate on the sideline, Alex Smith found a wide open receiver for what would have been the game-sealing touchdown, and it was out of his reach, overthrown by mere centimeters. So while Chiefs fans at home were legally in comas, the Colts drove down the field and got inside the 5-yard line. And then it happened. A handoff to Donald Brown, who fumbles inside the 5-yard line, and the ball is recovered by Andrew Luck, who rises over the top and scores a touchdown. How in the hell does that even happen? Also, at this point in the game, those jabs that have been thrown at Kansas City were continuing to pile up, as Brandon Flowers, their best cornerback, was injured out of the game, and now Justin Houston, their best player period, had a leg injury and was also ruled out. The very next play, Andrew Luck heaved to T.Y. Hilton, game-winning touchdown. Okay. But wait, one more swift kick in the groin from the football gods, as Alex Smith and the Chiefs actually had a promising drive going that would have maybe won the game. But after some pressure, Alex Smith threw a pass to a wide open zebra, resulting in a grounding penalty, which ended the Chiefs' season. And you know, I guess this video is just gonna turn out to be some Colts fan porn, as next we have the 2006 AFC Championship game between Peyton Manning and Thomas Brady. Going into this game, there was a very, very prevalent narrative around the league at the time that Peyton Manning was just not as good as Tom Brady and didn't have what it took to make a Super Bowl. And of course, the Patriots being the gatekeepers of the Super Bowl they've been for the last 93 years, they were going to stand in the Colts' way once again. And it also didn't make things better that Peyton Manning and the Colts had lost to the Patriots 2 of their last 3 postseasons. And like how most playoff games end up going with the Patriots, luck was clearly on their side. Just look at this fumble play. What? Anyway, Tom Brady was doing his classic dink and dunk strategy and checked his way down to a 21-3 early lead over the Colts. Basically, for the first half, nothing was going well for the Colts as they only scored 2 field goals, but it was in the third quarter when the war of the 2 best quarterbacks of the 2000s would take place. The Colts got the ball back in the second half and immediately scored a touchdown, and hey, fat guy. Then Tom Brady and the Patriots get the ball right back, and Tom answers with the most elusive play of his goddamn life. Now all of that tension was cut when the Patriots had to pay back for what happened earlier in the game, as the Colts traded a soul for a soul and fumbled inside the 5 but recovered the ball for a touchdown. Interesting. Unfortunately for the Colts, they lost a drive due to Peyton Manning's peg leg giving out on him, and the Patriots took advantage, taking a 3-point lead after a few drives. But it looked like the Patriots had finally caught a break, as in the fourth quarter, the Colts literally forgot to guard wide receiver Resh Caldwell, and as Tom threw it to him immediately, he dropped it. So now, with the football gods favoring the Colts, we saw them drive down the field, have more insane fumble luck, and ended up scoring a game-winning touchdown. Or did they? Foolish Colts, you do not leave a full minute on the clock for Thomas. You should just know better. I mean, Tom would never let a game like this go.
Intercepted! Colts are going to the Super Bowl!
Well, they blew it. I also want to point out that this was a Patriots defense that ranked second in the entire NFL overall, and it was led by guys like Asante Samuel, Rodney Harrison, and Richard Seymour, who somehow gave up 32 points in the second half alone. I mean, this was just a wild game overall, where there were 3 O-lineman touchdowns, Peyton Manning making his first Super Bowl, and of course, Tom Brady choking. At least he bounced back next year, I think, actually. Let me check that real quick. Now, I do think that both of those previous 2 games go under the radar a lot more than this next one, which literally has its own nickname, the Miracle at the Meadowlands 2. Now, in this Week 15 game between the Giants and the Eagles, the winner would effectively clinch the playoffs, as they would go on to have the tiebreaker in the division. And early on, things looked like they were going perfectly according to plan for the Giants, as through 3.5 quarters, the Eagles were just getting a train ran on them by Eli Manning, who tossed 4 touchdowns throughout the entire game. And now, with a mere 7 minutes and 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter, the Eagles trailed 31-10. You know, the commentators were talking about everything that didn't have to do with the game, and fans were leaving the stadium. Classic blowout protocol, right? Well, instant Brent Selleck touchdown. Okay, sure, whatever. I mean, this game is still beyond out of hand, and there's no chance the Eagles can come back, right? Well, the Eagles proceeded to kick an onside kick and actually got it. And then after a massive Michael Vick run, and then another Michael Vick run, on a one-handed snap touchdown, he cut the game to 1 singular possession. And meanwhile, the Giants couldn't do anything at all on offense. So the Eagles got the ball back and ran it again with Michael Vick, and then again. And then after stacking the box in order to prevent another Michael Vick run, Vick found Jeremy Maclin on a one-on-one route for a game-tying touchdown. The Giants effectively writing the damn manual for how to speedrun a choke. But it's still not Armageddon territories yet, as the Giants had full control of the clock with the ball, and after Eli Manning's ability to escape the pocket miraculously floundered, the Giants were content to just let the clock wind down to just 10 seconds and just take the game to overtime. So head coach Tom Coughlin made it very clear that this upcoming punt should be kicked out of bounds or to the sidelines. Anything except for a line drive punt straight at Deshaun Jackson. Well, of course, that is verbatim exactly what happened, as an awful punt straight to Deshaun, who fumbles, then recollects himself for a walk-off game-winning touchdown. And this Giants team that was eliminated from the playoffs with this very game went on to win the Super Bowl with a worse record the very next year. So for Giants fans, they're left wondering what could have been, and Eagles fans, well, Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, then subscribe, because I got a lot of videos on the channel just like this one. And if you like this video, then you should watch this video right here on the worst NFL players from every decade. It's pretty good, trust me. Anyways, until next time.